right, we got about 25 minutes left with you, maybe a little less than that this morning. And we have been heavy on politics as you've got all the drama unfolding on Capitol Hill with the big, beautiful bill. We are going to lighten things up a little bit. Although, as I read the menu for White Pillars in Biloxi, my stomach doesn't feel light right now. My mouth is watering and my stomach is grumbling. Small plates, shareable plates, phenomenal entrees, and it is all the masterpiece, the work of Austin Sumrall, who is the chef and owner at White Pillars Restaurant and Lounge in Biloxi. If you want to check out the menu yourself, their website is biloxiwhitepillars.com. It is phenomenal. Austin, good morning to you. I appreciate a little bit of your time as we roll into this Independence Day weekend. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you all for having me. Good morning.
I have not yet been to White Pillars. I'm not on the coast as much as I would like, but I promise you the next time I'm in Biloxi, I'm coming there. I've got some food friends in North Mississippi where I live who are big fans of yours and sing not only your praises but the restaurant's praises, and I cannot wait to get there. May even have to make a special trip.
I think it'd be worth it.
There's no doubt about that. The 4th of July, the Independence Day weekend, is a weekend that we associate a lot of things, right? We associate getting to the pool, fireworks, celebrating with red, white, and blue stuff on, but also eating. And usually that eating revolves around something that came off the grill. Put together a menu for us, if you don't mind, for the Independence Day weekend as folks are gathering with friends, gathering with family, trying to eat well and stay cool.
So we just got a bunch of ribs in. So personally, that's kind of the direction that I'm going to go this weekend. With the 4th falling on a Friday, we're actually going to be open at the restaurant this weekend. So that's we're not typically open, but just because of the way it fell, we're going to stay open and serve our good folks in the community. But I'll be smoking ribs. I'll start brining them today. And then I kind of think, you got to make sure the sides are, just right too. I love potato salad. Somebody's got to make some mac and cheese, maybe collard greens. I think that they got to get their due as well. You've got your center of the plate protein, but you also got to make sure you take good care of those sides.
That's right. Mac and cheese with fried chicken skin crumble. Tell me more.
So have you ever eaten fried chicken and mac and cheese together, and the chicken skins kind of fall off and mix them into that mac and cheese? We go ahead and do that for you at White Pillars.
That is fantastic.
Hey, can you ship
Talk
that?
To me
can you ship that overnight quickly, please?
Possibly.
We'll have to work on that, Lance. Figure out the best way to do it. Maybe our friends at KLLM will let us borrow some of the refrigerated
Mr. Richards,
trucks.
please. We're waiting.
There you go.
We can make it happen that way. Austin, talk to me about your rib process. You mentioned starting the brining today. How important is the brining, and then what does the process look like when they go on the smoker?
So, we're not a barbecue restaurant, so I actually had to call in the big guns for this one, and I called one of my other chef buddies that does have a barbecue restaurant. Shout out to Carl Craig at Magnolia Blues in Brookhaven, and I kind of got his rundown on ribs because I feel like his are the best in the state, and he kind of just walked me through what we needed to do, what we needed to accomplish. So I'll do like a light dry brine on those ribs just for a few hours today, and then we'll go ahead and get them on the smoker probably this afternoon, and then finish them up tomorrow. So we kind of take the long way just because we have the time to be able to do it. Obviously, you could make it all in one day if you were eating them that day, but a lot of times food like that, if you can layer in the flavors and really give it time to rest and sit and everything, you get a lot more out of it. If you can kind of give it a little more time.
What is your smoker setup?
I've got a pull behind indirect stick burning smoker.
Okay, there you go.
Yep.
And it's one of those things where there are a lot of different ways. I mean, you can make it happen on a Weber kettle grill. You can make it happen on a Big Green Egg. You can, if you've got a pellet smoker, a pellet grill, you can do that. Or if you've got one of the big boys on a trailer, you build that fire on one end or in the firebox, and then ribs go on the other end. There are a lot of different ways you can do that. You don't have to have a 500-gallon propane tank to do ribs well.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I think it all just takes time and care, and make sure you don't forget about them, that kind of thing.
Hey, talk to us a little bit about your restaurant journey. I mean, obviously, White Pillars has been incredibly successful. The reviews for the restaurant have been just off the charts. I know you've been really busy, but you don't just wake up one day with a great restaurant. How did it happen?
Yeah. So, I grew up and, eating and going out to eat and cooking was just like a, very important thing. In fact, this past weekend, I spent some time with my mom, grandfather on my mom's side and my mom, and we still, every time we get together, we still get in the kitchen and cook. And it was just always like that when I was growing up. And, it had a lot of importance to it. And I kind of think that at a pretty early age, I knew I wanted to have a restaurant. And so I did hotel and restaurant management at Ole Miss. And then I went to culinary school at the CIA in New York and worked for a bunch of other really famous and great chefs that taught me a lot kind of coming out of culinary school. And then my wife and I opened White Pillars in 2017. So we're going on 8 years this year. We're pretty excited about it. And then we actually just opened a second restaurant too. So October of last year, we opened Siren Social Club and Hotel Vela in Gulfport as well. So we're really proud of how those restaurants are going too. And we're just excited, we love the Gulf Coast. It's a great place to have restaurants.
Yeah, there's no question about that. I'm curious, and not to turn this too political, but as a restaurant owner, as a chef on the coast, what did you make of the labeling, seafood labeling legislation that came out of the Mississippi House of Representatives and Senate this year? Came out of the Capitol.
Yeah, so I was a big proponent of it from the beginning. I actually kind of tried to be on the front end of that and help them kind of set up the best way that it would be, to implement those rules and laws. At our restaurants, we've always, labeled our seafood, and we only serve domestic. And at White Pillars, we only serve Gulf seafood as well. To me, the important part is that your customer knows what they're getting. At no point should a restaurant be trying to pull a fast one and trying to serve something while representing it as something else. I mean, that just shouldn't be the case in any scenario. So this law is going to enforce that, and it's going to make restaurants be honest with their guests. And sometimes imported seafood being served, maybe at a cheaper price point or something like that, maybe people are okay with that, but they should, as the consumer, be able to choose. So I think it's important, and I think it holds restaurants and purveyors' feet to the fire a little bit, and gives them some ramifications if they don't do the correct thing. So we love it because we've always done it, and it just kind of holds our peers accountable as well.
Accountability that creates consumer confidence feels like a good thing and a win for the restaurants that have been doing it right for a really long time. I want to go back to something you said just a second ago with regard to your family and food kind of being part of the way that you grow up. That's the case for a lot of people. Like there are a couple of different ways to eat. You eat because you're hungry and you need the sustenance, and you grab a sandwich on the go or whatever. And then for others, and even for people who eat on the go, sometimes it's almost like I don't know if I'm using the right word, but almost more like a spiritual experience. Like it's about community and families and friends and gathering around and not being in a hurry. And while, yes, the food is the center of it, it creates this other stuff that we don't always make time for.
Yeah, I agree. And that's how it was in my family. We actually, we boiled some shrimp this past weekend, and we were sitting around as we're peeling it and eating it and kind of talking about that exact thing. It's almost like a camaraderie or sense of community, that kind of thing, where you slow down.
Yeah.
You really, have conversations and fellowship with your friends or family. And that's, that was always in the utmost importance in my family. And I think that that's what we want to try to bring to our guests in our restaurants too, is that you feel like you're, it's an event, not just food.
Austin Sumrall, he's a chef and owner at White Pillars Restaurant and Lounge in Biloxi. And remind me again one more time of the name of the restaurant in Gulfport.
Siren Social Club in Gulfport.
Siren Social Club in Gulfport. Austin, appreciate your time this morning. Happy 4th of July weekend to you and your family and your friends. We'll talk soon.
You too. Thank you so much.